Almost every night I'm at the beach with my dog. You can't see him, but he's in there somewhere. And it's not really night, it's not really dark here. Turn this around. You can see the first lights. You can see the moon up there, behind some clouds. And you might be able to see, well, this should be Orion. And up there is Taurus with Mars. But I'm guessing this remains the only astronomical object that remains visible. This is the harbor. My dog walking towards the harbor, or rather pulling towards the harbor, his nose on the ground. As I said, this is the harbor beach. It's not just that dogs are spending lots of time, it's also that there are badger sets behind us and around us, and rats and mice and everything else. And obviously seaweed. Seaweed's one of the great pleasures in the life of dogs at the sea. So while you're looking at the darkness, I can tell you that this is really not a dark night. And I can tell you how I find out. So usually my first guess is I look at Orion, and if there's a star visible right underneath the belt, that's Sigma Orionis, then that's a decent night. It's not right now, and this is because the moon is just above Orion to the left. Sigma Orionis is, if I remember correctly, 3rd or 4th magnitude, so if that's visible, that's okay. It's just two magnitudes off what we usually call the limit for the human eye, 6 magnitude. Astronomers measure brightness of stars in weird units. 6th magnitude is the faintest thing you can see by human eye. Vega is supposed to be 0th magnitude, so the brightest stars in the sky are like 0. All the bright stars in Orion are visible, so that's good, but that's not really hard to do. The Pleiades are just about visible, and that's my next step. I look at the Pleiades and I count how many stars I can see by eye. And if that number is 7 or 8, that's pretty dark. If that number is 3, it's alright. If that number is 0, then I go home and I don't do anything else. Right now that number is 4-ish. And again, the main reason is the moon is really nearby. There's streetlights all around me, on top of the cliff, up there, over there, back at where my house is, and then here at the harbor. But that's not really the problem. The moon is really the most significant source of light pollution if it's on the sky, and there's no point, at least in a rural location, of complaining about streetlights in a night where the moon is bright. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of the moon, but I have often cursed it when I try to see something that is faint, or when I try to observe something that is faint. So if the Pleiades are visible, my next test targets are usually to look for Praesepe, which is somewhere between the constellations Gemini and Leo, and right in the middle is the constellation Cancer, and Praesepe is right there. And you should see a little cluster of stars, even by eye, if you're in good location. The other one to look out for are the clusters H and Chi Persei, between Cassiopeia and Perseus, somewhere over there. I'm pointing at something, you can see that. And again, if you can't see that by eye, then it's a good location. The Orion Nebula is almost too easy. That's between the bottom of Orion and the belt of Orion. If you can see that, okay, but that's really child's play. And then the final test is Andromeda. Finding Andromeda needs some level of skill. You need to know where it is, and you need to know how to get there using the old-fashioned techniques of star hopping. But if you know where it is and you can go there, my dog is trying to go somewhere else now, then you might be able to see a little milky spot on the sky. And if you can see that, that's pretty cool. You can see the next galaxy, not the next galaxy, the next bright galaxy, the only galaxy you can see by eye in the northern hemisphere on the horizon. And let's finish with this contemplative view of my dog exploring the very, very obnoxious smells of the harbor. But fortunately, you're not getting that.